Hello, good afternoon. Welcome again to my third video, and it's entitled Moving. As I spoke last night, I said that I would talk on from running onto movement. And thanks again for all your comments on yesterday's and the day before videos. If you haven't seen them, please go and check them out. Share them with your friends if you want. The more feedback I can get, the more feedback I can get, the better. So thanks again for all your comments, and please share. So today I'm going to talk about another book called Natural Born Heroes. Not sure whether that looks back to front. It looks like it's in a mirror, but anyway, that's the picture, you get it. And it's by the same author, Christopher McDougall. So this book is about heroes, as the title suggests. It's also it's a war story. It's about moving and it's about nutrition. And I just want to tell you how it kind of had an instrumental change in my journey and where I'm heading, particularly in relation to my business. I want to read a little quote from it, and it says, "So, for much of human history, the art of the hero wasn't left up to chance. It was a multidisciplinary endeavour devoted to optimal nutrition, physical self-mastery and mental conditioning. The hero's skills were studied, practiced and perfected, then passed along from parent to child and teacher to student." And actually, the whole point is that being a hero is to be a helper, and we can all be heroes in our own ways. And it's about taking information and passing it on to your kids, to your people around you. So it's a sharing, it's a collaboration of helping. And that's woven into the story, and he looks at the Greek history behind it all. So it's a fascinating read. It's set on the island of Crete. It's a true story, which I wasn't aware of, and a true war story. Absolutely spellbinding and a really good read. So I'd encourage you to read it. So coming back to be a hero, to impart knowledge, and some of the other themes in the book, the knowledge that is imparted is about moving and about movement. It's also about nutrition. But firstly, the moving part. I think what I feel is that we're in a culture where we're very much, exercise has become quite sterilised and has been limited to sort of gym work and quite monotonous, boring stuff. And that's what exercise is, and that's how we keep fit and maintain fitness. And most of us, that's not for us. And there's an alternative sort of concept of movement, and I'd encourage you to Google movement practice, and there's loads of stuff out there about what that is. Movement practices might include parkour, martial arts. I guess yoga is a form of movement, more sterilised, but there's capoeira, lots and lots of movement practices, gymnastics, but the whole encompassing thing is this concept of movement. I'll also drop a link to a YouTube video in my first comment called "The Workout the World Forgot," and it actually features a chap in that video who's mentioned in the book. So watch it; it's got about 1 million hits. When you have a look, I'm not suggesting that everyone should climb trees or jump off rocks or dive into deep pools. That's not what I'm suggesting, but it's just an alternative view of what exercise might look like. It's less sterilised, more wild and more exciting and enjoyable. So have a look at that video, check out Google movement practice, and tell me whether you think you'd like to know more about that for your life, for other people's lives, people you know, and whether that might form something of my business that would be useful for people to be informed about. So that's the first piece of information. The second piece of information has been absolutely key in the last 2 or 3 years for me, and that's the concept of where we get our energy from. And on this island of Crete, these resistance fighters were relying on herbs, basically, and the original Mediterranean diet, which was a high-fat diet, lots of cheese and goats, because that's all you got in Crete. If it didn't come from a goat or didn't grow in a little rock crevice, you couldn't eat it. So that's what they were surviving on, and that's how they fought and resisted the German forces at the time when they were in Crete. And he goes on to mention a gent called Tim Noakes, Professor Tim Noakes from South Africa. And through this book, I got quite interested in some of the work that Tim Noakes has been doing. And if you haven't heard of Tim Noakes, Google him again. He's set up something called the Noakes Foundation, and something called the Real Meal Revolution was some of the early work he did. I don't think he's quite so connected with that anymore. But for me, that information has led on to lots of changes in the way I practice my medicine at work and the advice I give. And I'm going to talk more about that in the next video. And that's going to really form the heart of my business, really, and what I want to the information I want to share to people. So I hope that's helpful. So I wanted you to understand my journey from the barefoot running to the movement practice to the understanding of nutrition, and then how they all are going to come together, hopefully, as my passion that I want to share with people. So if you find it interesting, great, share the video, share it with your friends, give me feedback. If you think other people might be interested, tell them about it. And I will get back to you with the first video on nutrition tomorrow. So thanks again for watching. Bye for now.